All right, so this is for you. And the first point I'd like to make is that there is a pattern. We'll just use that word. There is a pattern to the techniques. First, let's go over some of the things that we've said. There are three concentric components to our training. Okay? We have the spiritual, we have the energetic, did I spell that right? And then we have the physical. When we say they're concentric, we mean as is happening here, is happening here, is happening here. Also, as when is happening here, is when is happening here, is when is happening here. It's not one leads to the other. So, in the energetic level, we'll take this one off for now. It's just going to complicate things. The forms have a physical component, then they have an energetic component, and one is the other. So, for example, a physical aspect might be martial. The energetic pattern is also the martial pattern. And the martial pattern is the energetic pattern. They're not different, and one doesn't lead to the other. So any form that you would look at and would say that doesn't seem very martial, you would also see a violation of the energetic pattern. Okay? Does that make sense to you guys? Okay. So for Aikido people who tend to go, it's not a martial art, and they say that now. There's no martial to it. Okay, if someone would look at it and go, you're right, your Aikido is not martial, we would also see it's also not energetically sound. There's a violation of the energetics there as well. Okay. So, knowing this, let's look at the form energetically. We're going to look at Kihon Waza energetically. Energetically, your form is going to have yin, yang, let's call this Aiki, earth chi, water, Kokyu, heaven chi, fire. These are all manifestations of the unknowable, unnameable field of potentiality. What you're trying to do energetically is reconcile these dualisms to get back to the Tao. The way you reconcile these dualisms is you start them rotating. Kind of like, you put in a spice and another spice and you mix them. Do you see? So they stop being two. So your forms will always adopt this pattern, this mixing pattern. But this pattern has a micro and a macro level. So, Uke and I will be on a spiral. And we will be generating these aspects. And they will be generated by, for example, centripetal energy. There's energy going into the spiral. And centrifugal energy, there's energy coming out of the spiral. And I start mixing those things. Right now, you can picture Naga and Uke moving around on a spiral. But the micro level is inside my body, and inside Uke's body. So all of these forces, yin, yang, earth chi, heaven chi, water, fire, they're moving inside my lower tanden. This pattern is two-dimensional. It's not accurate, okay? What you want to understand is more something like this that is spinning on its own center point, but is also traveling around that spiral. Same thing in my body. So, this is a reference point. In my body, I'm going to start rotating yang qi and yin qi once internalized. So I would rotate it left or right. It'll rotate. And then I'll lift it up. So imagine that this line is like this line. Or over here. I move the line, do you see? And I spin the line. Then I rotate the line again. And then I come down. This is the internal pattern, the micro pattern, that spiral inside my body, mixing the yin and yang qi, okay? So it could start this way, it could start this way, but after it starts that way, it'll go up, it'll go the other way now, and then it'll go down. And that's what you're doing to Uke's body as well. So you start the technique, Uke's gonna go right or left, you're both gonna rotate around that pattern. Uke is going to be brought up, go back the other way. If they went right the first time, they're going to go left, and then they're going to go down, okay? So if we have Kaiten Nage, Ki no Nagare, what Ki no Nagare does both rotating cross patterns, the one to the right and the one to the left. That's what makes it a unique training. Okay, so as I start, I rotate, pop, I rotate it, right? It's gonna come around. You're gonna see it goes up, you see? And I'm gonna do the other side of the technique now. Whoa, around, pop, and the spiral. So I'm doing that inside, but watch our pattern. Our pattern is spiraling, okay? So we start turning, boom, turning, Let me change it. No spiraling pattern. Do you see that? Let me add its Senkan. No spiraling pattern. So macro, I use the spiral. Let's just look two-dimensionally. And there's centrifugal energy going in. There's centrifugal energy going out. This is yin, and this is generated by Aiki. This is yang, and this is Kokyu. In Kaiten Nage, Aiki is applied to the head, Kokyu is applied to the hip. But they are married with those two energies, centripetal and centrifugal. Okay? That's what you're trying to do. So I'm going to generate an outwardness on Uke's hip. That's where I Kokyu. I'm going to generate an inwardness. That's where I Aiki on Uke's head area. And then I don't have to do anything. The technique just does itself. I'm in the pattern. So now I'm in the doing of not doing. I'm in Wu Wei. Okay? Now you watch for that. So we're coming around. You'll see centripetal, around, boom, pop. Okay? Let's do the second Kokyu one, or the second Kaiten Nage, where I came inside. So I don't go here, stop him, and then inside. I have to do another turn inside the turn. So coming around, boom, hop, around and around. Do you guys see that? Okay. So same thing. I use those two energies, boom, to generate what I need for him on martially, okay, as well. So, for example, going to the physical component, I'm in the back. When I do this stuff, I'm in the front. Here's where he tackles me. Boom! Stay in the back. In the back. Okay? Let's try it ourselves. Either version. Go. Keep going. Okay, so did you feel that? Did you see that hiccup?
Right.
Okay, so in here. Good. Boom. All right, then you're going here like this.
Right.
Do you see that?
Yes.
So I gotta pull you.
Right.
This step goes with the head in. Do you see that?
Yes.
Come on. Okay? So when you entered here, you came this way.
Right.
Then you had to wait for them to get there, and now you're just using centrifugal energy.
Right.
You're just pushing out.
Right.
So as we're making the spiral, you have to make the spiral at your extremities. So your head goes one way and your hips go another way in this technique, okay? So we're coming around. Okay? And that's without the hip. You see? Okay? And this is the hip without the head. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so do one without the hip and one without the head. Okay, go. So with the pattern, I'm generating centripetal and centrifugal energy. Those energies are what I manipulate to generate Kokyu and Aiki. Okay? So as I come around, it's because he wants to go out. You see? That there's an energy going out. And I match that on the Aiki hand. So let's say that was a value of X, and I do a value of X, and then we get stuck. Okay? Do you understand that? But it's his outward generating energy that I use to adhere at that point. It's not that I grab his head. Okay? So we're going on. Whoa, he's going out, and this is what I am stuck on. You got that? Don't grab the head. And then, so he's going out, and once I get the adhere, that energy is what starts the Kokyu energy, because that inward energy is what I bounce off of this hand. Okay? So I'm not going like this and pushing him. Because he's spinning inside a spiral, I can adhere, boom, and project on the hip. Okay? So that's our technique. Do you guys see that? Okay. Try and So feel your non-grabbing hand. Go.
Hi.
So notice how it's going where your head hand is going.
Yes.
Okay? It's not supposed to. Okay? So I come in here. And here's your head hand, right? So you have centrifugal energy, right? So you have centrifugal energy, and that's what I use there, you see? And then you're going that way. You understand?
Yes, I understand.
So I'll get us there, so I'll come in here, there's the centrifugal energy, and you're going like that. You see that?
Yes.
Okay, now I want to spin you. I'm going to do the rotating cross inside the spiral. Okay? Remember how I said that. It's not a two-dimensional thing, okay? So, we go around, boom, here, boom. Do you see how that goes on your hip?
Yes.
Okay? Do you feel the projection?
Yes.
Okay, so the Aiki is benefiting and continuing the centripetal energy, I ground that, boom, and I hit the hip, and that's what causes it. You understand? As opposed to, I just go around this way. You see how you just did a normal roll?
Yes.
Okay? You didn't. Okay, here we go. So, therefore, you can do incorrect Kihon Waza. They'll be martially inviolable and also energetically contradictory. Okay, so like you don't have these versions like this. You don't do those versions. Okay? You can change it. Do you see one little, then enter, and then you have the second. Same thing, not like this. Do you see that? That's not going to be, you're not going to have the spirals going, okay? So you can, boom, there's the spiral, you see? Just ever so slightly, boom, there's your spiral. Boom, then you can do it. You see that? You guys see that? Okay, and inside I'm doing that. Inside I'm doing that, which is what's most important. Okay, that's the energetic level. But martially, look, I stay here. He has total balance until I go to here. There's no way that's going to work. But you clear the line, you already get the tilt going, you see? You get the tilt going. Okay? But inside I'm doing it too, which is most important. Okay? So same thing, not here like this, not here like this. We have to turn, spiral. Oh. Have to do it at least on one side. But Kihon Waza does both sides inside. Okay? Let me say this. The uke never stops. Did you notice that? The uke never stops because the spiraling, rotating cross never stops. So the uke should never stop. So I should never have him stop, then go stop. No. The uke is always moving. Whoa. Always moving on whatever the version. Doesn't matter. Never stops because the chi has to always keep moving. Because I'm spinning them. Do you see? Hey.